Hey, what's up, fellas? Do you find that you are avoiding offending other people? Do you find that when you trigger someone else with your authentic voice, it creates discomfort within yourself? And therefore, the way that you deal with that discomfort, the way you avoid feeling discomfort, is by restricting your full expression as a man. Because you've learned that in triggering other people, in causing offense, the stories come up around how you might be a bad person. Whatever the story is, if it's existing in your head, your unconscious will do whatever it needs to do to stop you experiencing not just the story, but the feelings that are associated with those stories. And then it will restrict your authenticity. And that turns you into a people pleaser. In relationships, it might make you quite passive. It makes saying no quite challenging, because when you say no to people, it can really trigger their own issues. And if your entire identity is set up to avoid triggering other people, you're going to restrict yourself. Now you're pandering to the needs of other people above your own needs. It's the opposite of self-love and respect. You're essentially saying that other people's wiring, their mental and emotional and nervous system wiring, is more important than your own. And you do that because you gain a sense of safety from other people being safer around you. That's attachment. It might come up with your friends, with your family, in your relationships with women or with men, whatever it is. It might come up at work, in your business. You might struggle to ask your boss for a raise because you think that might trigger him. You might struggle to ask for more money from your clients because you're worried that might trigger them. You want to get your voice out, you want to be heard, but you're not tapping into your authentic voice because that authentic voice might trigger other people. Maybe your political opinions are different to that of your family or the friends that you've grown up with. And when you go to express what you really think about what's going on in the world, for example, that triggers them, and now you learn to hide that. And what that does is it creates stress to your nervous system. Like literally the act of holding back your authentic voice creates the survival emotions of fear and all the others, because you've learned that it's dangerous on some level. Now, there's so many guys on the spiritual path right now that are trying to open their hearts, trying to be more loving and do the right thing, but they haven't found their authentic voice yet. So that means that their expression of love isn't really real or authentic. It's done for an unconscious or conscious desire to maintain safety, and that makes your energy quite takey. It means you're not able to give your true authentic self to other people, and other people will receive that potentially in an uncomfortable way because they'll feel your incongruity. Or some people like your inauthenticity because it doesn't trigger them so much, and then now they're going to pander to that part of you that isn't real, but it makes them feel safe and it makes them happier. This is the mechanisms of attachment and how it works. How about, if you're working on yourself, if you want to develop yourself, how about focusing on finding your authentic voice? That real version of you that goes after what he wants in life, and he's not afraid to offend other people. Now, people are going to react to this. If you want to start tapping into your authenticity and you spent your life not being authentic, that means you've created friends, you're potentially in a relationship with a woman who really only knows your inauthentic self. So when you start becoming more authentic, it's going to start triggering them. And that's what turns most guys back to being their inauthentic self, because they can't handle triggering the people around them because it makes them too uncomfortable. Now, I can't think of anything that's brought me up against as much fear recently than me learning how to be myself and say the things that I want to say. I mean, it's truly can be a terrifying experience because so much safety has come from outside of myself. It's from relying on people liking me so I can feel good. But when you start liking yourself more, that's when you can start speaking your truth. That's how you live a happier life. It's how you become healthier. If you want to be more healthy, you have to find your authentic voice, because restricting your voice creates tension and stress to your nervous system. It affects your immune system, and it has a huge effect on your entire body. Forget everything else. Find your authentic voice. Now, what you might find is, if you listen to this video and you get some motivation or inspiration and you're like, yeah, okay, fuck it, I'm going to go say what I want, I'm going to speak my truth, right? You might find it's, even though you're motivated to do it, it's still quite challenging. You still avoid it. And that's because you haven't learned how to manage the stress that comes up when you speak your truth. Now, stress takes us out of our body and puts us into our mind. And when we're up in our mind, we're not very good communicators. When we're up in our mind, the stories are existing, all the stories we've accumulated, usually the self-limiting stories. And those stories will say, don't bother, don't do it, not now, do it later, and you won't do it. So, what you need to do is you need to bring activation to your body instead of your mind, and develop your awareness so you see this pattern coming up as you go towards having these difficult conversations. And instead of the energy shooting up here, you allow the energy to come back down into the body. And essentially, this is the basics of grounding. You can see your body like a hose and your energy is like the water. You want to open up the kinks in the hose so the water flows naturally through the body. So rather than going up into the head, it comes down. If you think about like Shaolin monks who spend so many hours of the day grounding their energy, activating their bodies, you can feel from their energy that they've got this solid presence. You know, if you say boo, they're not going to jump. Now, if you could imagine a Shaolin monk or warrior living in today's world, if they carry that energy, they're not going to be people pleasers. They're not going to say and do things that gets them approval, because they found all of that safety and they found the good feelings from within them, because they've spent so much time in embodiment, and now they don't need anything from other people. That's how they would become more, that's how you can become more magnetic, because you become less needy. And the neediness can come up in all areas of life, not just in relationships, right? So, the more you spend time activating your body, essentially practicing embodiment, the more presence you'll get over your patterns. And when that stress takes you up into your head, you've caught it now, you see what's happening. You're up in your head, the stories are there. You want to come down away from the stories. And the more you practice this in everyday life, the more you're going to have the ability to activate your body. Now you can remain calm in the difficult conversations that you've been avoiding. Think how cool that would be, right? All the difficult conversations that you've spent your life avoiding, whether that's going up to a woman that you like the look of and introducing yourself, asking your boss for a raise, or whatever it is. There's thousands of them that you're potentially avoiding that's stopping you from living the life you want to live. Bring activation to your body. As you watch this video, can you just start feeling energy in your legs right now? Now, the more you start doing that, the more you're going to be able to do that exercise, that process, whilst in a stressful situation. And this is just basically how, this is like the kind of more of a practical way of manifesting, right? Let's take all the spiritual stuff away from it. You want to manifest something in your life. The reason why you want to manifest it is because you don't have it. You don't have it because your body goes into stress when you try and have it. Now, if you can't manage that stress, you're never going to have it. When you learn to manage stress through embodiment, through grounding, the stress comes up, you bring it back down. It doesn't have an effect on you. Now you get to choose how you respond to life, because you can't stop bad things happening to you, but you can change how you react to it. And this is the difference between being reactional and being responsive. When we're reactional, the world has control over us. When we're responding, we're choosing how we respond. Now, if our life's in an actual danger, we're probably going to want to choose stress, because that's what's going to keep us alive, right? Someone's coming to attack you, you want to be stressed. You want to run away, or you want to fight that threat. But almost all stress today isn't putting your life at danger. So you don't need to be in your head. You want to come down into your body. So everything that you don't have, that you want, is because of the stress that comes up in your body. If you just practice grounding and embodiment in the safety of your own home, that's better than nothing, and I recommend you do that. But you also want to start slowly stepping into what brings up stress, what you're afraid to do, right? And as you do that and you notice the energy activating your head, I see it now. Bring it back down, start activating the body. Then you can start communicating from your emotions and from your feelings. That's how our words have a bigger impact. That's how we release energy. We release energy through speech. It's one of the ways in which we can release emotions, is through our voice. But if you're talking from up in your head, you're not activating the feelings and the energy in your body, so they're going to stay there. And they're the kinks in the armor that push people away. They're the kinks in the hose that stop the energy from flowing through your body. Really, you want to be able to just walk around and feel the aliveness in your body. And then you see something that you want to do, you think of something that you want, you go after it whilst maintaining that feeling in your body. And when you get taken up into your head, you bring it back down, and then you keep going forward. Now what's happening here is when you step into your fear, you're stepping into something in life that your unconscious doesn't want you to do. That's why it sends out fear, right? Because it doesn't want you doing that thing. Now it's your job to communicate to your unconscious that you are safe. How do you do that? You do that by grounding. Because if you were in danger, you wouldn't want to ground your energy. You would want to be up in your head, like I said. But when you learn to bring the energy down, you bring calm to your nervous system, your unconscious now sees that experience or whatever it is you're doing is safe. And when you next do it, you're going to be more calm. Then that becomes a new part of your reality. That becomes something that you just naturally do without thinking. So your comfort zone has been expanded, and now there's more that you can do in life. That's how you go after what you want in life, guys. It's a really important process if you want to start going after what you want in life. Take it from me, it's the way to live. If you want to start feeling more grounded, if you want to start feeling like more of a man, start doing it, please. And if you do, comment below, let me know how you get on, and subscribe for more.